Well, here we go. It's January 1917, Eastern Front. And yes, the Russians are still in the war. Yep. I think it was sometime in 1917 when they gave up the ghost. But what we have is a couple offensive on the Germans began. Had moved some troops in before along the frontier right here and smashed across and crunched the unit that was right there. So where that siege guns are. So they're here, and well, the Russians did do a good job. They took some troops with them, but the Germans are now parked right there. All right. They did have another offensive that happened right here. And the Corps right here, it's smacked in here. And the Russians did take some troops with them. And, well, the end result was that the Germans did take the Hex right there, but at a cost of, well, I should have took a picture of the dead pile. It was getting pretty big here. And then they had another offensive that happened, I think it was right here. And there was a bunch of exchanges, and the Russians and the Germans, well, they kind of canceled each other out with lots of troops dead. So, okay, right there. There we go. Look at the rail lines, or it should be right there. Okay. You gotta just look at where the rail lines are for supply purposes. But the Germans had three successful, well, you call it successful. They did take the hexes, but they lost a lot of troops doing it in the process. The Austrians did have one attack. It was right here. There was the Romanian cavalry that was right kind of sneaking around the corner right there. And they got taken out pretty successfully with the Austrians right there. So that was the offensive that happened over here on the Eastern Front. All right, so the Germans kind of seeing, well, they got a little bit of life put back into them when they seen the Italians join the war. So instead of forcing more troops into Austria-Hungary, they said, all right, the Italians can help out over here. So they just like, all right, we're sending more troops to the Eastern Front. So that's how that happened. All right. Speaking of the Eastern Front, the Germans attacked right here with a fairly successful attack, took out the Greeks that were parked there. That was really pretty much minor troops that were there, but they did take some Germans with them. And the Italians attacked the British cavalry that was there and successfully took them out. But the Italians did lose some of their cav in the process, so it's kind of an exchange of cavalry. So on the offensive right through here, there was a minor attack here that was sort of successful, and another minor attack over here that was successful. And if you look over here, the troops that were over there in France kind of spread out amongst all the ports. So now they got German troops in the ports trying to prevent any type of amphibious landing that may happen. And it can happen because we have conditions are still the way the muddy conditions over there. So, all right. That's everything that happened in 1917 in January for the Central Powers. All right, we'll be back. All right, here we go. January 1917. Allies on the Eastern Front. They moved some reinforcements in, moved some units off the flanks right here, filled the gap. And over here, they went on the offensive and smashed the German unit that was right there. But at the cost, they lost some troops. But it's hopefully putting some pressure on the Germans. You know, they're losing troops right and left all of a sudden. So maybe that will help elsewhere. But right now, the Russians went on the offensive here, filled the plug, dug their troops in here. Is they would rather put some troops over here to go against Austria, but with the Germans advancing, they needed to plug some holes at the moment. So that's everything that happened there. The Romanians dug in over here. Reinforcement cav came in over here for the flank. Maybe they can find a corner to go around. Who knows? And over here, the British won on the offensive along with the Greeks. They attacked right here, demoralized unit, kicked it back to there. There was a German unit that was here and was attacked on 3 fronts by the British. And the British advanced here, destroying the unit that was there. So the unit that was here was destroyed. Oh, this one was demoralized and kicked back here. This one was one unit was destroyed, 2 units destroyed, and I think yeah, that was what happened there. Got them mixed up a little bit, but yeah, we got it. It works out about the same. So some units were taken out. You know, the 464 infantry don't hold up very well against some really good German I can't even say it. British troops. Core of the British Army is kind of advancing right there. And that was it. And they did move more troops into Greece via the transport system from their fleet. So that's what they have there. And casualty piles a little big for the British did take some casualties. They still have a bunch of troops that need to be replaced, but they'll have to wait till next turn. All right. That's everything, I think, for the Allies. The weather is going to be muddy on the Eastern Front and the Western Front, so things still can move fairly decently. All right, we'll be back.